Hello everyone and welcome to my Twine endurance base for AFK. So what I'm going to be doing is going around each amp and doing a somewhat quick overview of the build and kind of explain everything about it. And if you have any questions about the build, please ask me in the comments and I'll answer it as quickly as I can. So over here is the Homebase East, and it's a very cheap build. I've been using this for over a year, and this build works really well because there's no smashers that ever spawn on this side. So smashers don't spawn on waves 1, 11, or 21, so it requires less block off and you can make a pretty cheap build. So over here there's just some wall spikes with healing. And then this is a little box for any assassin husks that want to target your location. So my AFK spot's over there, so they're gonna try to come through here, break this. If your AFK spot's somewhere else, then you would probably account for that. So here's the block off. There's some up there because there's a rare spawn, and there are some half floors for the lava bomb shift. There's 3 of them, and the floors have to be facing this way, so they can't be like this. They have to be like this, and make sure that the lava bomb right here shifts properly. It doesn't destroy the block off. And up here I have a single wall launcher, but I don't think this has ever had uses on it, so you probably don't need it. And then over here, a few layers of block off. 2 pyramids like this. Wall launcher, floor launcher, carpets. And then over here, we have a edited floor like this, holding up these 2 walls, and everything will get pushed down into the water, and they'll either go try to make their way toward beach, come up toward beach, or they'll go up to devil, depending on which way they want to go. Most of the time they split. So, and then for the north, I'm just using Vocaloid's damage build. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description for the various builds that I use, but it's not exactly the same as his. It just is a slight modification with the different types of traps, and I believe all these traps are nature for wave 21. Some sound walls for the propanes on wave 11, and then some wall darts over here for the holes, and tiny little block off on this side, and over here as well. Pretty simple build. And next is Ridge, which is actually my friend's build. It's just a generic geyser build, so they're just going to be stuck with the geyser. Very little block off over here. Just a little quick overview of the block off. And just some floors under here. These have floors underneath, and so is this one. Yep. And there's no floors under these ones, I believe. This one has a floor. This is there's a bunch of half floors under here. This one's faced like this. There's 2 under here, face like this, a lava bomb, as well as here. there's anti-airs here because on a very rare occasion there might be some lobbers that are throwing at the lobber shield for some reason. But I almost always check these and they're never used. But there was one time where it happened and I'm not sure why. But you probably don't need them. But it's always safe to have them if you have the structures. So wall light, floor launchers, get them down into the pit area. Same over here, wall light, wall light. And if somehow they make it past, which I've actually never seen them make it past here, they'll be hit with these. And they'll tumble down, they'll get stuck down here again. So over here, just a little shield, so they'll come down to here. Some wall launchers, 0 impact, and that will get them into this little thing. And this prevents them from going all the way down to the pit amp and destroying those builds. And they'll want to go down there and get stuck at the geyser. Some husts might come up here. There's a ramp here. Because sometimes they want to come over here and break this, or try to path over there for some reason. So they can just come up here and just try to go back and get launched back down again. And the guys are over here. It's this little build. Edited floor, 2 half walls, a wall there, half floor, and then the ramp, which leads up to the amp. They'll get stuck at the geyser here. And then this little shield for the flingers and lobbers, so they don't throw over the amp, because they actually can throw that far. They're standing in this area. And then we have a smasher bridge for the smashers. 4. 1 ramp, other ramp, and then 4s like this. And then this is the little teleporter for the mini boss. And the arches like this, and 2 poles. And then these are regular arches. It's edited like this because the smasher will charge from this spot. You don't want them actually accidentally breaking the arches, and they'll just hit the amp right here, and the arches will be fine. And then here's the lobber shield. That's about it for this build. And for the pit, this is my own build that I've been using for over 2 years, and I've just been refining it, cheapening the block off, and making it as stable as possible. It's very similar to a lot of lava builds that path them over here. So I believe it's 11 layers from this spot. So this should be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then this is an extra one in case one of the layers gets broken or something. There is a spawn that sometimes breaks one of these walls. And this is the block off for the north side. No half floors under here. Once you get to here, there's some half floors. So there's 1 here, 1 here. There are 2 over here for the shift. And nothing under there. I think I actually missed. Yeah, there's some half floors here. There should be 4 in total, because 4 half floors is equal to 1 layer of block off, if you didn't know that. So one of these doesn't count as a full layer of block off. You have to have 4 of them in a row for it to count as 1 layer. So 4 of those half floors, and then 2 of them here for the shift. Nothing on this side for the shift. And then just a regular amp design, nothing special. I just have this here for the husk that might come down here. This is a shifted trap, so this got patched in the recent updates. You can't do this anymore, but it's totally optional because I never used to have this and it was fine. I just thought it'd be kind of a cool idea to have that there. And then over here is just the shield, the flinger. The flinger will walk, well, I have that block off there, so they might not. But if you don't have that, they'll try to come over here and fling, but they realize they can't and they'll just despawn. But if one is down here, you need a shield. Because I have this pathing for them, so they'll keep looping over and over. Walk up this ramp, and head back. And this floating trap is optional, I was just playing around. But if you know how to do this, go right ahead. And I believe these are all 0 impact, this one's 3 impact, because it's got to launch them all the way over here. And just, you know, regular wall launchers, doesn't matter which ones you have. If you have a lower durability, and you should probably use like 1 reloads here, and like 1 reloads here. Nothing usually makes it past this tar pit. But sometimes like a small midget husk will make it past. And then this is in case like a little small husk makes it here, they'll get hit by these two. And this is just kind of seals off all the edges. I'll show you the last remaining block off. This is 7 layers here, which is just enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 right there. And it should also be 7 from here as well. So I've been running this type of build for over 2 years, and it's by far the most stable build in all of my base. So it's a really great build. Then for the bridge, I just have this connected, and then this is a healing spike just for this, just in case it gets damaged by a meteor, so it can heal. There's a rare chance that this could get broken and it destroys the whole amp design here. Those are just for the mini bosses. They'll come over here and just dance on the amp. They don't break any of this. And they'll just stand here the entire wave. I just have some anti-airs surrounding the amp. And then this shield, these blank tiles are just for the meteors that might hit. They're kind of like dummy floors so that these don't break, because if these floors aren't here, these can break. And then you might have a flinger throwing right through the shield. You don't want that to happen, so these are kind of optional. I added them not too long ago, and they do help. And up until this point, if you put any block off here, the mini bosses might break it, or probably will break it actually. So this should be 7 layers here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the wall is 8. Yeah, 7 or 8 layers you need here. And then so there's a triangle wall there, and walls across here, acting as a shield. Excuse me. And a little half floor, half wall. So this is actually Vocaloid's old bridge, just slightly modified. And then I have this shifted trap here, which is optional, but I added it. There's a little recycling system right here. Wall launchers that push them down, and that one pushing them back. These are my legacy traps, my legacy floor spikes, which have the reload perk, but you can use any. See, these have 2 reload perks, and reload perks makes them walk slower on these. So this is a wall launcher that pushes them into a box, and then this is a 4x impact, and they'll get hit by that, and then back down. And upgrade that, and then just some basic recycling, which leads them to this area, which they'll be launched into the lava. And here's a couple anti-airs. Actually, I removed this one. Used to have one there. But sometimes a flinger can throw a lobber skull, and this will take care of it. Then torped on the last tile for the smasher, if they make it here, as well as a wall light for the smasher if they make it here too. But that would be extremely rare if that were to happen. Maybe if your traps run out. So I've tried to make this as cheap as possible, and it works really well. And just to show over here, there's a broadside. In case something phases in here like a small husk, it'll just get rattled in there. Oh yeah, and then this side, small amount of block off. These are 2 healing wall launchers. They decide to come up here, but they rarely do. Wall, floor, and cone like this. And this is a little off topic, but someone told me that this is not as effective as this for some reason. So if you edit it upward like a cone or whatever, it's actually more effective. I'm not sure how true that is, but I was watching my friend say on Devil, he had a damage build, and he was saying how editing the cones like that made the husks not aggro it. So, and just a wall there for the flinger, because they might want to walk all the way around up this ramp. And that should be the bridge ramp. Just one final look. And then this is my damage build for Hill West. So tires over the spawn. So you see the green little tank right there, that tells you what direction to place them, because it matters where you place them. So when you place a ceiling drop trap, and you're facing like this, whatever way you're facing is the direction that they'll get pushed back. So if I'm facing the east, and I place this here, and the trap goes off, they'll get pushed backwards this way. So some of them are directioned differently. So for example, this one here is placed like this, so it'll actually get pushed down here, and then these will deal some damage. And like these ones are placed like this, so they get pushed backward this way. So we have 2 wall darts with holes and 2 sound walls. Another sound wall here, another sound wall here. A electric field wall launcher. A lot of husks that spawn like right here, they want to walk through here, so some sound walls here. Wall launcher, this is a 3x impact. They'll get pushed back to spawn and get hit by more tires. Bunch of wall darts over here. This is a no reload. And then alternating, these are on one wall is a reload, and this one's a non-reload. So reload, non-reload. That just staggers the timings so that more husks get damaged. And this is just for connecting this. this wall, and then this. And then for the smasher, we have just 2 wall lights, and then a mini lobber shield. Just 4 little edited ramps. And then this is the mini boss dancing design. It's not perfect, but it works maybe half the time. So if it doesn't work, they'll destroy all this, but the build will still work because you have enough block off over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers here, and 8, 9. So you have 9 layers here. So if the mini boss breaks anything on the amp, the husks will not want to break this block off. And then over here, there's 3 layers, and then a little kill box. So I believe husks from the hill south will also come up here, the assassin husks, and they'll just come in here, trying to path toward your AFK spot. So some broadsides, freeze, ceiling zapper, and a healing wall spike. Then this is a little lobber shield for this area. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 over. And then this lobber shield is connected to the block off. So there's a triangle wall here. And then it's 3 over from that. Or 2 over from this. And then 3 up here. And I think that's pretty much the build. Oh yeah, there's a wall dart right there. Forgot to show that. But there's a hole in this sound wall. And then this has a increased health spike on the back. Because sometimes propanes might explode around this area. And adding the extra health will also mean that it heals faster, because it'll be a percentage of the max health. So wall dart right there. And for the south, this is just like the ultimate nuking damage build, like as much damage as you could possibly fit in this tunnel. And surprisingly, this is the build that I made just for this idea. How much damage can you possibly fit in this path? And it works great. So I've been using it for a little while now. So this block off I think is Vocaloid's Hill South. And it should be basically the same. So starting here is a ceiling drop trap, another one, and another one that just keeps pushing them down this ramp. And the good thing about these tire traps is it makes them phase a lot into this rock. So a lot of husks will phase into this rock and they'll just get stuck until they end up despawning. Use like a what do you call it? Xenon sniper, or neon sniper actually. You can just see them in that, just standing there. So these are alternating sound walls. So I used to use the 69 sound walls back when the impact guard was a thing, but it doesn't matter anymore, so you can use regular 130s. But I have a gray reload and a blue reload that I use. So this is a blue reload, and then this is a regular 2 reload, like this. Same thing here, alternating timings, a wall light, and then a regular sound wall dart back here. And this has the extra health on it in case there's any explosions, and also here and here. And then this is if they phase this just launches them back. Sometimes when they get hit by these tire traps, they might phase through this wall. So that'll launch them back. And over here, as if any assassin husks or the flinger might come here. And then this wall is block off for husks wanting to take a quicker path or whatever. They might try to like think that they can path over here. And then these wall darts will shoot through this. So it's basically like the most amount of damage you could possibly do in a tunnel. So I have these zappers pretty early in the tunnel, but it still works out because there's just so much damage in general. These are supposed to take care of the propane tanks or the propane husks that make it through. Just nuke them before they can have a chance to explode. They work really well. So these are no reload. Actually, I think these are reload. And then these subsequent ones have no reload. Yeah. So they look like this one with healing. And then these are the ones in the back. And that's pretty much it for the build, I'm pretty sure. Here's the bottle flinger shield. And then block off again. I think that's pretty much it for hell. Now this is a build that I modified. So this is Dark's lava, which was made for the assassin design, but now that the assassin design is not working, it's gone. I replaced it with a smasher bridge and just modified the block off a bit. So the assassin designs always required less block off, but now that the smashers and the propanes are passing through here, you need more block off. So here are some lava bomb shifting half floors, angled like this. Before I forget, I'll just show this tunnel because there's 5 layers. There's a wall here, there's a ramp there, and then on the other side. Just quickly show that, because if you forget that, this amp will fail quickly. Plus, we'll take this tunnel. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 layers. And this is designed so that husks that could be down here for whatever reason, they can just walk over this and not break any of it. Except for this wall, which I should probably change to a pyramid. So you can use a pyramid there, you know, angled like this, and they'll just walk over it. And then this is a smasher bridge design that I found on YouTube. I can't quite remember who it's from, but it's built for the geyser, so the mini bosses and smashers that make it down here, they just get launched into the lava. Because they're going to want to take this path up here, but they'll never be able to. So just a basic smasher bridge. Nothing too fancy. So this block off's the same as Dark's over here as well. The only thing I added, I believe, was over here, these 2 walls, and then some block off over here. So I filled these in. I think these were empty before. And then some block off under here. And yet again, you can't do this anymore, the shifted traps, but you don't really need it. I think it's kind of just fun to use, I guess. So this is like a floor freeze and a spike trap. And you can't normally place a trap here, because if you place an actual floor, the husk will just break it for whatever reason. This ramp is kind of bugged, I guess. Like, they'll just break that. Just floor freezes, like, all the way down. And then some tar pits and ceiling zappers. I've never had a smasher actually make it through here, so depending on your tech score, I'm at max 3522, which I believe is the maximum you can have regardless of your power level. You would probably just need more traps, like more of these ceiling electric fields if you have a lower trap damage. And I haven't had any problems with propanes exploding at all, because I just have a lot of sound walls here with different timings. And optionally, I just added these floating wall pushers, which are underneath, but you don't need them. I just added them for fun. And then over here, in case the husk phases through this wall, we get pushed back. And I've had this build for a really long time, and most of my runs, there'll be at least like 10 uses on this. So it's kind of common in the phase. Sound wall here. Sometimes a blaster will get stuck like right here. So this kind of prevents them from, I guess, hitting this wall. Sound wall there. This is a healing pad and a increased building health. Some riot huskies or regular huskies will try to break this for some reason. I don't know why, but no matter what, they will go there, and it shouldn't get broken. And just some wall darts all surrounding. Wall dart here to just basically constantly shoot husks that are in the tunnel. And ceiling gas. And the Zappo Maxes or whatever you have. I don't alternate the timings on these because they just weren't really necessary, but you probably can do that. It should be fine. That's basically the entire build. I'll just try to get a good shot of the block off again. So there you go. Now this valley is pretty hectic. This is Robot Smoke's build, and it consists of a lot of glitched walls. So all the walls are underneath this amp, which I'll show you, and all of the smashers will come to the amp and charge aimlessly, basically, and all these traps should take them out, and any husk that makes it up here. And this is a V block, which on wave 15 will prevent any husk from trying to path this way. It's a glitched type of block off. So they'll come up here. These are floating. There's a wall launcher here that will push them back, and then this will push them this way, and then into these floating traps, and into the little platform that will take them to the geyser. And there's multiple traps. So you can see like a wall light here. I think I have 2 or 3 wall darts here, and then a wall launcher. So I still have to optimize this and make it better by adding more traps, but I'll have to get around to that. So I'll just quickly show you underneath the amp what it basically looks like. And if you didn't know, you can just crouch under this tunnel to get right under the map. So these are all upside down walls, and the upside down walls are glitched so that when you place a trap on them, the traps appear one tile above the wall. That's how this is done. As you can see, like, that's an upside down wall. And I have like tar pits under here that are glitched upward. And then multiple traps on these walls, as you can see. And a floating freeze. And I believe these 3 tiles have floating traps on them. But I suggest you check out his build, or his video. And then over here is another glitch ramp with a healing spike, just in case, which will make them take the geyser. Very cheap geyser. Just 2 or 3 tiles. And if they make it up here, they'll get pushed back down. And they'll get stuck around here. They might make it up. Just because of all the husks that'll get stuck here, they'll phase. Or they'll get pushed against another husk and then just kind of make it over here. And no builds in the tunnel. What I added from the original build is these 2 tar pits, because sometimes the smasher will charge for no reason in this direction. They'll end up just like breaking this and coming up here, and then they'll come up here and then charge this, which is your only support for this top part, and it'll break the entire top. So here's the glitched wall for the flinger to throw at. They'll never break through it. And the husks that get thrown up here, they usually land like right on here. They'll drop down, get hit by this. Maybe they'll get hit by this. And here's some more glitch traps, which you can't do anymore, but they're not really needed. Flinger spot right here. And then so there's a wall dart for that. Or from the north, and then one from here. And here's another glitched block off. And a floating wall dart in case any house comes up here. And some extra floating tiles for the UFO. And I just have that there to get to the AFK spot faster. Over here, this is for the beach. Sometimes they come over here to get to you. This will take care of them. So this is Vocaloid's beach, which I've been using forever, and it's never failed. The only thing is that I replaced the flinger spot over here with just block off. And just some optimizations, like he had this wall here which is useless, so I removed it. Added a wall light here just for extra crowd control, and you know, they get launched down. I think everyone knows what this build is. Very popular build. This is the return path, and they make it down there. And then 3 cones here to make them walk into the water longer, as well as these 2 walls. They'll spend more time in the water, slowed down. And then this return path here is for the ramp amp. So they'll want to take this path back to the ramp pathing over here. So the ramp is a very complicated build. See how many changes I made to this. this build. I posted a lot of videos on this amp. So what I ended up doing is making it so that there are 4 half floors going directly straight to the amp from this spot. And as I said earlier, the 4 half floors act as one layer. So you have these extra walls here, which basically make sure that they don't try to avoid this extra layer. Which means like they could break this and then avoid the extra layer. So this is preventing them from doing that. Half floor, half floor. Half floor here with another corner piece. Make sure that that acts as one layer. And then one up here. Because you can't place any extra layers here or here because the mini boss will break it. Everything else here though you can place. And then just the floors here for the pathing. And these huts will get recycled into the beach. There's some anti-airs down there. In case, I think on wave 11 and wave 10, there are lavas that might throw the random waves. And they were actually breaking this tile, I believe. So maybe you can put like a healing trap or healing ceiling trap under there. But it shouldn't be an issue. I haven't had it happen since I added those anti-airs. And then this is the same amp design that Folklore uses for years. Works perfectly for the mini boss. They always dance. They never break anything. And just a little bit of damage. Somehow make it through. And then this is the block off for the ramp. And this is the block off for the beach. So this is different because there were some flingers that would just come over here and just break this. So this is just with the flingers. They'll get pushed back into the beach. So I think that's everything that is in my base. And this is a really good base. Like, it'll wave 30, maybe 90% of the time. The only problem right now is the valley, which I just need to add more traps, I think. But other than that, this base is really good. So if you have any questions on something I didn't show or any trap perks that I missed, I'll be answering your questions in the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. And I forgot an amp. So I forgot to show off Devil, so I'll just do that real quick. So this is Mitch Rob's Devil. Both sides are recycling. Basically just tire traps, freezes, and launchers is the entire build. So up here, healing wall launchers, there's a rare spawn right here. That'll push them back down here. They'll come over here this way. Block off 2 walls back here. These 3 walls. These 3 walls. And then floor and pyramid. And then a wall here. So these were all wall lights and freezes. floor launchers, and then this is a double glitch trap, optional, but I think it'd be nice to have a torpid here, and it'll just keep getting recycled. And this build is basically identical to Mitrov's, so I suggest you watch his tutorial on how to build it. And then I added some glitched walls here as extra block off, but you don't need it. And then the tire pits, just keep pushing them down. So this one pushed them down here, this one pushed them back here, and this one's pushes them this way, and then back. So some tar pits for the smasher, because once they get to like this point and they see the amp, they'll want to start charging, and then this will stop them from breaking anything. And then this is a smasher bridge that's different from Mitch Rob's because it's never worked for me. So it just connects with the tunnel for the west. And then the west is basically identical. I think I removed the wall launchers over here that he had, just because they were never being used. They always just walk over here. Yep. So basic recycling build, and then a little bit of damage at the end if a husk somehow makes it through. Then these floors for block off. Block off here. Walls over here. So a couple of tiles back here. And these aren't edited like this because sometimes the husks will phase through the triangle walls. So it kind of sucks, but they have to look like this. I mean, you could just make it look like that and see what happens, but it's probably just personal preference at that point. So that is Devil. Thank you for watching.